Dan, I know it's early, it's 7 AM, and you're getting the kids ready for school, and you're getting ready yourself for work, but you need to get to the shop now, immediately. Come to the shop.
Guys, Dan Hendriksen here at Torquay Golf Club. Some exciting news, my new clubs have arrived. So what I want to do in this video is just show you the process that I go through when I get a new set of clubs. Checking out the lofts on these clubs. I'm going to check to make sure I'm happy with how the grips are set. And then obviously I'm going to get some yardages from these clubs as well. Just make sure they're gapping in perfectly from the bottom end to the top end of my golf bag. Let's unwrap these new clubs of mine. Now I've got these clubs out of the box. You may have seen in a previous video I did a what's in the bag. It was a 4-part series that I did, and I showed you how I fitted myself into my irons and then the blend up into the 4-iron and then with the hybrid as well. So what we're now going to do is we're just going to test these clubs in the loft and lie machine just to make sure that the lies and the lofts are correct for my spec. Let's get up to Lester's area and see if he'll let me use his loft and lie machine. So I've come up into the shop where Lester has his repairs area. We're going to now go through these clubs and just make sure that the lofts are perfect. Now I haven't changed the lofts on these, they should be standard lofts. So in the 7-iron it should be 35 degrees in loft, and then the lie on these should be 2 degrees flat. The standard 7-iron would be 63 degrees, but I'm looking to make sure that that's at 61 degrees, and then it moves in half-degree increments as it moves up and down the clubs. Let's see how Lester gets on.
Right, Lester, how are they looking? Everything's looking pretty good, to be honest. Everything so matched up.
A lot of ticks, yeah.
There's a lot of ticks, yeah. The only slight issue I found was the 4-iron was 25 degrees. From my calculation, looking on the Titleist spec, it should be 24.
So there is a reason for that. And the reason for that is that when I was doing more and more testing with the T100 4-iron, I felt like the gap between my 5-iron in the MB and then the T100 4-iron was just a little bit too big. So what I asked Titleist to do was just to make it a degree weaker in loft, which hopefully will just bring it down a little bit in the yardage point.
Okay, makes sense.
The other good thing about that is that it just takes that offset a little bit away. So if you push a club slightly further forward in the bend, you'll take a little bit of offset out of the club, which for my eye is a better look. So the next stage is I have to test for yardages now, so I have to get my gappings right with all the irons and then moving into the hybrid as well. So let's hit a few balls with each club and just see what numbers I'm getting from them. So one of the other really key areas that you've got to make sure you keep an eye on when you get new clubs are the grips. Now I ordered these grips with 1 degree extra layer of tape, so it's a standard grip, it's a multi-compound, obviously it's black and red, but I've got to make sure that obviously I've got the right layer of tape and that the grip is on straight. So this is when you do your testing of that. Okay, numbers time. So I've hit 5 shots with each club throughout the bag. So I've gone wedge right up to my 4-iron, and then I've put my hybrid in as well. So you can see here my wedge down the bottom here. If I just sort of leave it all in, you can see my average carry of 127. And remember, I'm just trying to get numbers for a yardage point of view at this stage. So 127 with my pitching wedge. Now I gauge between sort of 125 and 130. I can probably push it up to 132, something like that with a pitching wedge, but 125 to 130 is about perfect. So 127 is good. I mean, if you took out that one slight miss hit, 128 on an average is about where I'm at. If we look at then 9-iron, so I always gauge now 9-iron around 140 to 145, 8-iron to 150 to 155, 7-iron to 160 to 165. So that's kind of what I'm gauging on all of my clubs. So if we look at my 9-iron, average carry of 141. If I take out, maybe there's 2 slight miss hits there at 138, you can see that it brings it to 143. So again, pretty much where I want my 9-iron to sit. If we then go to 8 iron, and again, I've had a slight miss hit down the bottom. First shot, slightly clean, went at 142, but my average there on out, you can see that 151. Again, perfect for what I want to see from my 8 iron. If we then move to my 7 iron, again, the first shot seems to be a bit of a scuffy one for me today, but 149 there on the first shot, but really 161. If you ask me what a 7 iron goes, 162 is about right for me. So 161 on average carry with my 7 iron is again perfect for what I want. Again, 6 iron, if we look at the numbers there, I've just taken out the second shot that I've hit, 'cause again, just slightly clean. I'm not quite on it today with my striking, but 170 on an average. Again, 170 to 175 with my 6 iron is about right. So again, if I take out that one poor strike, brings it to 173. If we then move to 8 iron is between sort of 180 to 185, and you can see there on an average of 184. I was buttoning that 5 iron today, so happy with what I was getting out of that one. And then if we go to the 4 iron, again, remember what I said to Leicester, I took a degree, I made it a degree weaker just to try and balance that in. When I was doing my testing, I was tending to sort of get that 4 iron out around sort of 199 area to 200, which was going a bit far, so I've just weakened it down just to lose a couple of yards on that. And if you can see there with my average, around between 190 to 195 is what I want, and I'm getting around 193, so that's pretty much where I want to see those irons. Then I did some experimenting with the hybrid again, just 5 shots with the hybrid to get us going with. Again, this is just a gauge on where I'm at. Obviously, I need to go to the golf course and see where we go from there, but at the moment, you can see my hybrid now is at 207. Now, I want my hybrid to go around 205 to 210. I don't really want to see it going up to 215 to 220, and you can see there I've got 2 here, which is at 213 and 216, which has gone maybe a fraction far. Now, what I would say is I caught it a little bit higher on the face, so my spin is a little bit lower on those 2 strikes, which has made the ball go a little bit further. So at 216, 213, I just need to keep an eye on that when I'm playing with that club out on the golf course. On that note, let's take these clubs out onto the golf course now and really put them to the test. Out on the golf course now, and all I'm trying to do when I get out here is just get a feel of how these clubs perform in and around the turf. I'm going to do some chipping shots with them. I'm going to hit all the clubs that I can when I'm out here, different situations, just to see if I can start to control the ball flight. So there's just the process that I go through when I change my golf clubs. Really, really important that you get trust in what these clubs are going to do for you. Understand the lies, the lofts on them, making sure that they're all where you want them and how they've come through from the manufacturer. Really important, again, getting trust in the manufacturers that make these golf clubs for you. Getting out on the golf course, again, the importance of understanding the flights. For me, when I came out here today, I'm just trying to get a feel when I'm around the greens. I want to sort of feel how that ball's working off the club face. When I'm out on the tee, hitting the 4 iron and hybrid, I'm just trying to see what the flight differences are in how I can control the flight for different situations on the course. Let me know, put your comments down there. Are you looking to change your golf clubs this year? Have you been through a process like this? Have you even tested what I've gone through in this situation here today? I want to hear what you have to say. Put your comments down there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing from this, and get that bell rung, and we'll send you through some notifications of some new videos coming your way. We look forward to catching up with you again soon.